Personally, I cannot wait for season 2 of House of the Dragon, which if you would have told me that before House of the Dragon season 1 came out, I would have said you're lying or that's not going to happen because I was a big doubter for House of the Dragon season 1. I had a bad taste left on my mouth from Game of Thrones season 8, the way everything happened. I wasn't a big fan of some stuff the actors were coming out and saying and all this stuff. I had big questions. I didn't think it was going to deliver. And then after that first episode, I was like, you know what? I really like that actually. I like the way it felt. I like the setup for a pilot episode basically for House of the Dragon. And then after episode 2, I was like, I am totally in on this show. And I do think there were some missteps. I think episode 9 wasn't necessarily done in the best way, and I hated how they ended it in the Dragon Pit. But other than that, I've gone back and rewatched House of the Dragon season 1 multiple times. I really enjoyed the story. And so House of the Dragon 2 is one of those things that I am really looking forward to. And we did get some news a couple days ago that House of the Dragon season 2, it was not affected by the strike like all these other things. They kept filming because they were in the UK. And they actually just wrapped up. House of the Dragon season 2 filming wraps as HBO eyes mid-2024 release date. So the idea that we're going to get this thing in the middle of next year, if all post-production, everything like that goes well, that's awesome. One of the very few things in the entertainment industry that I'm actually really looking forward to. And for people that are familiar with the source material, for people that have read Fire and Blood, for people that know what's about to go down, after what we saw happen in the last episode, and with the knowledge that we heard the first episode of season 2 is going to be called A Son for a Son, you are about to witness. I'm not going to spoil it for you, but I think that when we see the blood and cheese part of the story, I think that it is going to blow people away. I think it might end up being more shocking and visceral to some people than even stuff like the Red Wedding. Now, that might be a stretch because that was such a huge moment. So many people were watching. But I think for people that aren't familiar with the story, they're going to be shocked by what goes down within these first couple episodes. We know we're going to have Battle of Rook's Rest at some point. We know we're going to have more dragons in this episode or in this season. And then we also did get, this is from like weeks or months ago, we got the news, the set pictures that leaked out that showed we actually might get some White Walker sightings in some way, shape, or form. Now, I don't know how I feel about this because that is not in Fire and Blood, but Fire and Blood is very ambiguous in terms of what happened between Cregan Stark and Jacaerys when he goes up there to the north. We do know they develop a really close friendship. They, basically have the pact of ice and fire, where they're willing to commit to each other and support each other and stuff like that. But we don't know all the details of what went down up there, even with all the different tellings we have in Fire and Blood. But this news surprised a lot of people. House of the Dragon season 2 leaks suggest the return of White Walkers in the sequel. Now, the reason this happened is because they saw inside, one of the makeup rooms, and it's just labeled undead. I don't know if all this like super confirmed or not, but it seemed to be fairly reliable. It seems like everyone's assuming at this point that we are going to see the undead in some way, shape, or form in House of the Dragon. I don't know how I feel about that. Personally, this is what I hope. I hope that we need to understand why Cregan Stark and Jacaerys formed this bond. What I'm hoping is that Cregan explains to Jace why the wall is so important, why his role as a Stark, what Winterfell's role is, his Wardens of the North, like why all this shit is so important. And he maybe tells them about the Long Night. Maybe they take a trip to the top of the wall. We see the Night's Watch. We see the wall because I think that's been confirmed as well. And maybe while he's telling Jace about these stories that they grow up with, that everyone thinks are fantasies, maybe we get some shots, whether it's in a flashback or shots of things that could be going on really far north of the Whites, of stuff like that. I don't know. To me, that's the only way you can make it work. I don't want to see anybody having interactions with them. I don't want to see random Night's Watchmen out on patrol again. I don't fucking need any. I don't want any of that. But if it's doing it in service of convincing Jace, like this is why Cregan signs this pact with him. This is why they're so committed, right? Because he understands that Jace understands why the North is so important. I totally think that could work in storytelling for this, although I'm still not 100% sure on how I feel about it. One thing is for sure, I'm more excited for House of the Dragon to come out than almost anything else in the entertainment industry, and it's not even close. So the fact that filming is wrapped, the fact that it's on pace for sometime in the middle of 2024 to be released, I cannot wait for more House of the Dragon.